Hello, this is Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian, and today I'm discussing my reaction to Star Trek Beyond. Now, if you tried to watch me before, it proved rather difficult because I kept crashing on me, and I apologize for that. So let me try to do this again. Now, coming into this film, I had low expectations in all honesty. First and foremost, we had Justin Lin as director. Justin Lin is famous for the Fast and Furious movies, and they always seemed to me to be movies that were an excuse to have really fast cars. The plot was just like barely constructed, so I had my doubts on whether or not an action star like that could really give something to Star Trek. I was also disappointed coming into this by the fact that they made Sulu gay. I'm not against having a gay character in Star Trek. I mean, there were gay characters in Hidden Frontier, a fan made series, and I thought it was well done. But making an established character gay because the actor who played him was gay, to me, was just pandering. So I was very disappointed by that. I was disappointed with Into Darkness. Now, Into Darkness has some good moments in it, and I still watch it, but I felt like it could have been a much better movie. And I was very disappointed of what it was. So I had all of that going for me. Well, also from the trailers. I mean, the Enterprise, they're not on the Enterprise. They're on some planet doing something, and it's like, well, that's not Star Trek. Star Trek has always been on the ship. Sometimes they go down to the planet, but there's still things going on with the ship. So I was a bit skeptical on that. And then a fucking motorcycle? Yeah, a motorcycle isn't Star Trek. So, I had all of this going into it, and I was just like, yeah, I'll see it because I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but honestly, I didn't expect a whole lot, and I was mistaken. This film was fantastic. I was wrong. I was thankfully wrong about what this film is. First off, let me address the Gay Sulu issue, because even George Takei wasn't happy with the fact that they made Sulu gay. It was pandering, and they can say all they want. Well, no, it's just dedication to the original actor. No, it wasn't. It was just to try to sneak something in there, hoping that, hey, well, George Takei's gay, so people won't have a problem with this. But so I wasn't happy about that. They snuck it in there. And the way they did it, they could have just made some random crew member gay, or we could have just saw two random guys, kissing and hugging, and it wouldn't have made a difference. It would have just been the same reaction. But I will give them credit where credit is due, that they did not make it a main aspect of Sulu's character, that Sulu still had plenty of things about him that made him a great character, that him being gay was just, flavor text. It wasn't anything extra. So what I will say about this movie, which has impressed me, is that this movie gave something. Oh shit. Am I crashing again? I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully you're still getting me right now. But what this film has given is that there is still a lot of things for the original fans, the people that helped make Star Trek what it is today, is what this film gave us. I mean, my God, it's just astounding. And, you know, I was like really angry with Simon Pegg, but with what he's written into this film, I apologize to Simon Pegg. I'm not happy with what you did with Sulu as far as him being gay, but you know what? It's a minor thing. I will admit that. It's a very, like, not even 5 seconds of the film is dedicated to it. Okay, maybe 5 seconds, but still, I am sorry to Simon Pegg. I was wrong about being angry with you. I should have looked at the product first before making a decision about that. I was wrong. This film is beautiful. I mean, I love that, you know, Kirk in his opening monologue saying, like, you know, they've been on this journey for 3 years, which was a nice nod to the original series because of their 5-year mission. They had only done 3 years of it. So, I mean, that was a wonderful nod. There was little mentions here and there, such as the Zindi War or the Green Hand, if you've ever seen the original Star Trek. It was a brilliantly done movie, and I think if Gene Roddenberry was alive today, he would be in tears for seeing his vision taken to such a level. It was absolutely brilliant. Now, I will admit, I cried when the Enterprise was destroyed. I mean, I started having teary eyes because if you've seen my video of the Discovery for the new show and how disappointed I was, one of the things I said is that the ship is as much of a character of the show as any of the actors. And the way the ship got destroyed, it wasn't just simply like a Mace Windu's death where they just throw the person in off screen and then that's all. No, the ship, it was like it was fighting for just the last little bit it could every step of the way. And everyone was working, trying to save it and save all of the people. It was such a sad scene. But even after the ship crashed onto the planet and they were trying to escape once again, you know, the Enterprise, the saucer section, just had one last little bit of strength to help the crew out. And it was magnificent. And that is how you destroy a ship, especially one as iconic as Enterprise itself. So I really love that. I did love the opening sequence where we see Captain Kirk trying to be a diplomat and basically failing at it. It kind of made this like, why wasn't there a diplomat there to deal with this? Why was it Kirk? But I love the argument that these people had. It's like, well, why are they giving it to us? Did they steal? Why do we want to take something from them that's worthless? You know, it was just like, you know, this really feels like social justice warriors, the kind of arguments we have with them. And it's like, it just, they're looking for any excuse to have an argument. And it was just like, it was portrayed really well in this scene. I don't know if that was their intention. It probably wasn't, but it was just like, I just kept thinking, this is what it's like arguing with social justice warriors. They take, you know, every offense they can and even find new ways to get offended at something that shouldn't even offend them. The one thing that I really loved about this movie, which I think was missing in the other Star Trek films. Now, when I refer to other Star Trek films, I mean Star Trek and Into Darkness. And this was actually present from Star Trek 1 to 6. Maybe not so much in Star Trek 6, but definitely in like the Trek 2, 3, and 5 was the relationship between McCoy and Spock. And it was like the problem that I'd like Into Darkness is that there's a thing called a Freudian trio. A Freudian trio represents three basic concepts: the id, the ego, and the superego. Now, for Star Trek, which was basically where this concept started, the id was always McCoy, the ego was always Kirk, and the superego was always Spock. Into Darkness kind of messed around with this a little bit, and it seemed like Uhura replaced McCoy as the id. And, you know, I'm a big fan of McCoy. I really love his character. So for him to be kind of taken out of that role really disappointed me. He was almost given like a chump role into Darkness in favor of Uhura having more of a profound role. And I always felt that that was more pandering than anything else. So in this film, we saw, you know, McCoy being a doctor, you know, having to take care of Spock, but just them trading insults with each other and showing that there is an actual love and respect between them. But there's still this animosity, you know, they love to hate each other. Oh, it's just like that scene when they're in the canyon and all surrounded and Spock gets up and McCoy is like, of course, that's what's going to happen. You know, I'm going to die alone. And then he gets beamed up next to him. Oh, great scene. And the fact that McCoy is flying around in a ship while Spock is navigating and he's like backseat driving McCoy and all that. Although McCoy being a fighter pilot, that's just a little bit like, okay, I guess Spock would be better in that role. But, you know, it's kind of reminiscent of Star Trek 6 when they're reconfiguring a torpedo. But, yeah, I really love that interaction those two characters had. Oh, wow, people are chatting. Tony, I like the scene from the old show where Scotty gets mad when the Klingons insult the Enterprise. Yeah, I do love that. That, you know, they're sitting there insulting Kirk, but the moment they insult the Enterprise, he has to like punch them out. Voyager, I liked Voyager. I didn't love Voyager. It had a lot of good moments to it. Celtic Runesinger was saying. Tony is right. The id could represent the devil. The superego could represent the devil or the angel. And they are on either shoulder of the ego guy. That's one good way of looking at it. But another way is, you know, the id is highly emotional. The ego is high level. And it's the ego who leans to both of these and either goes with one or the other or defines third option. So, yeah, that is the look well. So, the CGI was wonderful in this film, at least in space. When they're down on the planet, it's actually hard to tell it's CGI, but it's still present. It wasn't overly done, though, so I do like that. The whole motorcycle thing, you know what? They actually inserted it in there to where it makes sense because, you know, they find the frame, you know, it was back in 2160. Of course, this is the 2200s. So, a motorcycle on the ship. That's a stretch. But, you know, I did the motorcycle scene well. I was still like, yeah, you're really trying to put this in there, but at least you made it work. You know, the whole super weapon, that was just basically a MacGuffin. It could have been a rubber ducky as the ultimate of that to destroy everything, and it would have still worked. You know, but you know. there's something in Star Trek itself. It's the Star Trek philosophy. And this was somewhat present in the 2009 version, but severely missing into darkness. And I'm very glad to see it in Beyond. Like, Kirk lamenting at the fact that he's been in deep space for so long. Nothing is really interesting anymore. He's looking to be promoted, which I think was kind of a callback to Generations when Kirk and Card, like, you do anything that takes you off the bridge, shit, or there, you can make it. And I guess there are 3 being in deep space, he felt like he was different, and that's why he wanted to get out of there. And at the end of this, I want it because I can make it out of this ship. I really being in there. Also picked to spot saying that in this and Zachary Quinn spot lamenting he should care. He too wanted to leave the Enterprise to rebuild Vol, and because in talking to Boy, he kind of that he definitely he can't really do anywhere else. But I'm in the was from Star Trek, take a picture of together and realizing that this was there among his all great things. He wanted to be like him. Consider Spock. The way he could do that was to the life that he lived, not do what cool right, which nod to the first where him said it to favor. Don't do logical what feels right. I was very came back and what the I'm very happy with what this movie was. Oh, frack. I guess you're not able to deal on this breaking up my internet connection. Sucky lap. I for that, so I'll go ahead and up.